Hello, everyone. Welcome to this wonderful Saturday show. We are so excited to be talking about the Libra new moon today. And as you can see, we decided to be in the same room. So hopefully you enjoy this format. And we're looking forward to bringing you the astrology today, the meditation for the energies. And I'm so excited for what I cooked up for you guys. It'll be really fun. Before we jump into it, my name's Jake. I'm a hypnotherapist. If you don't know me, I'll share a little bit more about my practice in a moment. And I'm joined by Corbin. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Grand rising to all. My name is Corbin. I am a Hellenistic astrologer. I'm very excited to talk today about the Libra new moon. Although around the house, we've been calling it the three-eye new moon. Three-eye atlas is definitely part of this lunar cycle. We'll be talking about three-eye atlas quite a bit throughout the show here, even ties into our activation a little bit later. So a grand rising to all.
Oh, that's a little hot.
Yeah, and I hope you are enjoying Jake and I in our new setup today.
Yeah. Let us know if mics need adjustment or anything like that. Hopefully everything's good. Before we dive into the show and all that we've got planned for you guys today, wanted to pull up, first and foremost, my workshop coming up next week. So if you've been watching my shows this month, you probably know I am focusing on past lives and really drawing attention to that side of my work. And I am offering 10% off all of my past life services. So I'll show that to you in a moment when I get to my website. But I'm also doing 10% off of my past life workshop coming up next Saturday. So that's on October 25th, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern. And you can see there, it will be on Zoom. If you aren't able to make it live, that's okay. We'll send you the recording afterwards, and you can do that at your own pace in your own time. But definitely a great way to kind of dip your toes into the world of past life regression. If you've never experienced hypnosis before, or if you have been feeling that draw towards your past lives, or maybe just expanding your awareness a little bit to get curious about what's going on in your lifetime, because it's not just about the past, it's about how does it tie into your present, and helping you find clarity in your present lifetime, helping you understand what's going on, challenges, situations, experiences, relationships. Past life work is really so impactful and profound for working with the patterns and the loops, those experiences that we have in our lifetime that we maybe don't understand on the surface, or may not fully grasp what's going on there. We can find those answers in our past lives.
Well, and from an astrological perspective, we just came out of the eclipse season. So if you're having some of these patterns, some of these loops, these past life things are coming up right now as the right time to heal them, to let go of these things, and to move forward in a new way. There's a lot in the astrology right now that talks about moving into a new era. And so I think that this is a great little tool to help folks get ready for all of that. I saw your short the other day around Halloween costumes, and I just thought that was such a wonderful tie-in to past lives, because our past lives show up around us in so many different ways all of the time, and they might not be things that we're like consciously aware of. But when I was listening to that, Jake, I was reminded that for like 5-6 years in a row, I was an alien for Halloween. And, it wasn't the same costume every year, but it had to be an alien for a very long period of time. And so, yeah, even that just got me thinking, like, I wonder what sort of, off-world or alien past lives do I have that I haven't encountered yet. And, I also told you about that military uniform that I wore for Halloween one year, and what does that mean too? But I just thought that was such a fun way to kind of connect with it all.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's really one of the reasons why I thought the past lives would be a good focus for this month, because of that tie-in, because those things that we're drawn to when we're young, especially like costumes we choose or hobbies or obsessions that we have, that kid who's like obsessed with, like ancient Egypt probably has some past life connections to that time period, to that place, to that culture. And so the more that we can understand these different ways that past lives show up in our lives, and those signs and those I guess like symptoms of our past lives, it can help us to connect with that information, find that understanding, find that clarity, and then be able to shift whatever we need to shift in our present lifetime. Because whenever something does come up from our past lives, there's always a reason. There's always something that it's calling you to address in your current lifetime. So all in all, I hope you guys join me next Saturday, the 25th, for the workshop, because it will be very fun. It's always a good time to get together, and one-on-one sessions are great, and I definitely encourage you, if you want to dive deep and you want that one-on-one experience, definitely you can check out my offerings. I'll pull up my website here. But that group element, that group energy is really nice to have, that kind of support and that camaraderie as you're dipping your toes in, and you can hear other people's experiences. You can understand what other people might be going through as well, and that can help you to understand what you're going through too. So I definitely like the group workshops and the group energy, and I encourage you to join. So if you are looking for tickets for that, head on over to my bookings page here. If you click on the bookings link here, it will bring you over to my bookings page, and you can find the workshops right underneath the one-on-one services. If you click on that offering there, you'll see the time. Just select that time, and then you'll be able to log in and book. You can also do it as a guest as well. But you'll see also, navigating back to the top here, that I've got 10% off for my higher guidance hypnosis sessions, quantum healing hypnosis technique, which this is in person only, and then my past life regression as well, if you're looking for more that kind of cut and dry past life regression experience without the added layer of higher self connection, that subconscious connection. But whatever you're looking for, if you are intrigued by this, feel free to also book a free preliminary consultation, because we can chat about what you're looking for and what you're looking for out of my services, out of hypnosis. And as long as you book before the end of October, you still get that 10% off. You can still book it for November or as far out as you need to. But yeah, I encourage you to take advantage of that 10% off, because the time is now. And I'm so excited because,
speaking of bookings, it has finally been time to open the portal, the Pisces portal. So you'll notice that I now am offering my services publicly. So I have two different astrology offerings for everyone. First would just be a natal chart reading, a reminder that I use whole sign. So if you aren't familiar with whole sign, if you only have seen your chart in Placidus, or if you're just curious about some of the traditional techniques that I use, that's a great offering. As well as the second on here is just a bit of astro forecasting. I love cycle work. I love using transits and progressions and a bunch of different ancient techniques to kind of look forward. For anyone who has a birthday or a big event coming up, or is just looking forward at 2026, this is a great offering for you as well. Both of those are out there for 111. We do an hour on Zoom. And yeah, I look forward to chatting more astrology with anyone.
Wahoo, yes. So exciting. So exciting. Definitely, I encourage you guys. I've obviously had quite a few readings, both formally and informally, with Corbin, and he is a wonderful astrologer. And there's always something to get out of it on so many different levels. I mean, astrology is one of those things that even if you've had a natal reading, or even if you know your own astrology, getting that perspective from someone else, having that sort of guide or that seer to help you to see what's going on in these patterns, in these expressions of your soul. And so definitely encourage you guys, go book with Corbin. He is a fabulous astrologer, and you won't regret it. All right.
Okay, crystal candy.
I think it's crystal time. So
we just got back from a trip. We were down visiting family in the South, and we just wanted to start off by sharing this gorgeous little Sasquatch that we got while we were in Kentucky. This guy, he is made of euperlite. And Uberlite is indeed our crystal for this lunar cycle.
Mhm. And
Another piece of Uberlite here. Pretty.
And if you know
There
Uberlite,
we go.
you know that this, while this stone looks cool, its true like beauty is under UV light. And so we couldn't really get it to work with the setup and the camera, and it wasn't picking up the, I don't know what is wrong with that, why it like, couldn't do that, but
I think the UV light might have been hard for the like our regular
yeah,
camera
for the
to
camera
deal
to
with.
pick up.
I don't know.
But we took some photos.
Yep.
Yeah, we took some photos. You can see that under the UV light, the mineral deposits glow like that. Oh, hello, Siri. Do you like Uberlite too?
Mhm. You might know Uberlite as Uberstone, or some folks call it fluorescent sodalite, just because it's a different mineral composition of sodalite. Oh yeah, I also have a Uberlite bracelet on. So it is a little bit like gray and black and brown, just kind of in its natural state. But under that UV light, it really shines, and it's super duper cool. I think that symbolism right there really helps us to understand what Uber light is about from like a metaphysical or beneficial side of it. This idea of letting your light shine inside of the right moment or environment, about letting your true natures show, or kind of like what's under the surface. So yeah, I just thought it was really fun. I've been actually personally working with Uberlite for a couple months now, and I've really been loving it. It really helps for like throat chakra things, for self-expression, for clarity, for I don't know, Jake, you can jump in with a few things that you liked about Uberlite.
Come here. Come say hi.
Back to that idea though of like connecting with and discovering your gifts and your magical talents, or like your psychic gifts. Think about how Uberlite, under the surface there is that light that needs to be shined, and I think that Uberlite could be a stone that could help you kind of connect with your 5D senses, shall we say.
Absolutely. Excuse me, I got a little distracted because Sirius wanted to join us here. But yeah, Uberlite is definitely a really cool stone, one that I don't know, I don't feel like I knew about until more recently, but certainly a fun one. And the connections to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan is really fun. And I don't know, the Earth Star chakra was one that I don't know, I don't feel like a lot of people work with, and I really like that connection there, and thought that that idea of connection to all of life and the earth, especially with the Sasquatch beings. I mean, they are beings of harmony and balance with nature, with the world around them. They understand energies in such a more profound way than we do on our conscious level, and can work with that, and slipping between worlds, that multidimensional aspect of it. So really fascinating stuff. Serious Mister, you are being so nosy here.
Well, and I think too, as we continue to kind of step into a new age and everything, this idea of the Earth Star chakra and the ability to connect with all living things on Earth, kind of regardless of who or what they might be. Uberlite again could be a great stone to help you kind of connect with fairies or gnomes, or even just Gaia itself. There really seems to be like a way that Uberlite can help us tap into that which we cannot traditionally see. So yeah, it's just it's been a really fun one, and of course we love the Sasquatch so much. It's just so darn cool. Yeah, so Uberlite, check it out. Make sure you get something that's like UV. We got just like a little flashlight, so we can kind of see the bright colors. And I actually shined it on some sodalite, Jake, and the sodalite kind of lit up a little bit too. So I thought that was really fun.
Very fun. Very fun. Right, Green and Crow. My last name, my business name, and of course a great song by Madonna. love that song so much. Definitely, we sing it often, especially as we came up with My Business to Mind. I love it. I love it. So yeah, Uberlite, great stone to work with. Today, though, is all about the Libra new moon. Well, I guess all about, and also about some other things too. There's a lot going on, of course, at every moment, but this moment is definitely no different, and there's a lot going on with the astrology, and I'm excited to hear about it.
Yeah.
You want to jump into it?
Yeah, go ahead. Why don't you pull up the wheel here? Okay. So I wanted to start by reminding folks a little bit about Three Eye Atlas's journey throughout our solar system since discovery. Like I mentioned at the top of the hour, Three Eye Atlas is co-present in the sign of Libra at the time of this new moon. And so there's really something about this lunar cycle that Three Eye Atlas's energy is part of what's going on. And oh my gosh, I mean, if how many videos, how many news articles, how much, hubbub out there about Three Eye Atlas. If you're unfamiliar, I mean, I'm unfamiliar at times too, because I try to stay out of it, but nonetheless. So Three Eye Atlas was discovered, I'm circling here at the end of Sagittarius. It's not on my wheel right now, but a reminder that at the end of Sagittarius, 26, 27 degrees, we have what's called the galactic center. And that's a point that's seen as a giant black hole at the middle of the Milky Way galaxy. We associate it with a highly spiritual point, thinking of that being kind of the opening point to our solar system, but also perhaps a portal to other places and other dimensions, other information, knowledge that goes beyond our galaxy. It's like I said, it's a highly spiritual place. It's in the sign of Sagittarius, which is associated with the seeker of knowledge. I really think that just from the initial understanding that Three Eye Atlas was first discovered here, there's something to say about the comet that, it's associated perhaps with downloads, with activations, with an opening or an expanding of consciousness, especially if you find yourself as a light worker or a star seed. I think there's codes here that connect with truth or higher wisdom. That's, traditional Sagittarius kinds of themes. What's really interesting is that Three Eye Atlas is moving in a retrograde motion. So while it was first found and noticed here in the end of Sagittarius, it's actually been moving backwards through the zodiac. And so it went through the sign of Sagittarius and through the sign of Scorpio. And just at our new moon here, it is entering the sign of Libra to be co-present with the sun and the moon and Venus as we have our new moon here. This idea of the retrograde motion, I'm sure we're all familiar with. I think the same applies whether it's Mercury or Saturn or whoever, but this idea of, all those rewords, the revising, the reviewing, the reimagining, or maybe even reorienting. Three Eye Atlas will be moving entirely through the sign of Libra, basically from the time of this new moon to the end of December. So if you are a Libra rising, or maybe a Libra sun or moon, I definitely am curious for you to tune in a little bit more, see what sort of personal downloads and information you can get. I mean, of course, all of us have this opportunity, but for those who have strong Libra placements, maybe you have 3 planets in Libra or something like that, feel free to share in the comments or let us know kind of what your experience is. There's so much external information happening around Three Eye Atlas, but Jake and I have really been kind of tooting the horn on going inside and connecting yourself. And so just kind of a call to any Libras or strong Libras out there. Let us know what you're thinking. The other thing that I'll mention before just really jumping into the new moon here, coming up inside of this lunar cycle, so from the Libra new moon until our next full moon, we actually have the moment in time where Three Eye Atlas makes its closest pass to the sun. And so at that time, we'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll talk a little bit more about that chart in just a moment here. Sorry, everyone, our cat's going crazy.
Is there a bird out there, buddy?
Hit the thumbs up for the cats.
Thumbs up for Sirius.
He's doing some sort of energy clearing right now. So back to our new moon. We have our new moon in Libra here. It's really interesting now after we had the 2 Virgo new moons during eclipse season. We now are having our new moons kind of at the end of a zodiacal season. So we've been in Libra season for quite some time now. And we're finally at, the 28th degree. We're almost at the end of Libra. And here we go. We have the new moon finally. I just tend to think that when new moons come at the end of a sign, that a lot of us are ready for this moment. I think a lot of us might already have set an intention or two. I know that the Aries full moon a couple weeks ago was full of a lot of big emotional releases, some larger conversations and conflicts between family and friends and the relationships that we're having. A lot of people started showing up and saying, hey, this is my line, you better respect it. And I don't know if all those conversations really went so smoothly. I don't know if everyone quite had the Libra tact or the objectivity to see the other person's side so much. I heard from a lot of friends or colleagues or even a client or two about some opportunities for relationships to go a little bit more smooth as a result of that Aries full moon. So there's just this idea that here at the Libra new moon, here at the end of Libra season, we really are perhaps ready for a fresh new beginning as it relates to our relationships and a reharmonizing and balancing both in our internal lives, but also as we find those with other folks. I love to look at Sabian symbols to get a little bit more information about what's going on with the moon. And our Libra new moon here at the end, our Sabian symbol for this one is humanity seeking to bridge knowledge. There's really a theme here about kind of seeking knowledge, how knowledge is passed down generation to generation. So we take things from our ancestors, we pass it down to our descendants, and that kind of creates this flow of knowledge that ultimately is to help everybody, right? Things in Libra are to create a balanced, harmonious structure that works for all people. And so there's a message inside of this new moon about the involvement each of us have personally inside the role of evolving humanity's wisdom. And this is where I really think that 3i Atlas can kind of tie in a little bit. We talk about wisdom. We talk about wisdom in the sense of that, it's this idea of information versus wisdom, or this idea of, book smarts versus street smarts, or reading about something versus doing about something. And in my mind, this is really about the relationship between the planet Mercury, facts and information, or Jupiter, beliefs, knowledge, and knowing. And so there's a lot inside of this moon right now that's asking us to stay inside of that Jupiterian higher knowledge kind of place and not be too concerned about the facts. So it's okay if the color of 3i Atlas changes. It's okay if, I don't know, the news articles say something wild or crazy. This is about internal beliefs and what you experience yourself rather than kind of going outside for that external validation. You want to say a little bit about that, Jake? You're kind of nodding along.
Oh, I mean, sure. There's been a couple things that you've said that have sparked stuff for me. I mean, along that line, I definitely think that part of what I believe hypnosis and hypnotherapy, regression, this sort of internal work is all about, is helping you to tap into your own knowing, your own wisdom, your own connection to that divine collective knowledge bank. Some people talk about the Akashic records, or the collective field, or there's different names and different ways of conceptualizing like this field that isn't out there. It's we're a part of it. And so when you're going through the experience of hypnosis, I'm helping you to tap into that stream of knowledge, that stream of information. And of course, it's a little more nuanced than just like flipping a switch. There's a lot going on a lot of different layers with that sort of process. But the call right now to tune out the distraction, to go back inside, to say, okay, everyone's saying a lot out there. I mean, we're in such a, I mean, what they call it the age of information. I mean, we're at a point in our history, in our humanity, of just such a dramatic like excess of external information and external opinions. And I think some of that is helping us to prepare for the eventual like dissolution of the veil, or like this return to telepathic connection with each other, with the earth, because think about how much information that is going to be, right? So I think some of it is helping prime us for that, but I think it also is reminding us, like, when it gets too chaotic, when it gets too much outside, tune back into yourself, ask your higher self, ask that part of you that knows these answers. Well, what's true for me? What resonates for me? And trusting that, because it takes some trust in that. And you might disagree with everyone around you, and that's okay. Like, it's not meant to cause conflict. It's meant to help us to understand our place as individuals, but then also as a part of the whole. So
well, yeah, and I mean, just right here in the sign of Libra, a reminder that Libra is a cardinal sign, and whenever something's happening in the cardinal axis, we also talk about this being the world stage as well, too. So a lot of what you're saying, Jake, it reminds me of, there'll be so much happening on the world stage, but this is about taking a moment to be, how am I responding to what's happening in the world stage in a new and probably more harmonious way for myself, but then also for those who I am interacting with and close by with. So yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. To get back into the chart here, this is a really beautiful new moon for us. We do have Libra in the sign, or Venus in the sign of Libra. So she's in her domicile here. Whenever we see a planet that's in charge of ruling a sign in its sign, this is wonderful. She has all of the agency and ability to kind of bring the best outcomes to life here. We're really in a sweet spot of the astrology right now, with, Lady Justice, or like Peacekeeper Supreme, Venus inside of Libra. So there's a lot inside of this moon that says that it's a great opportunity to fight for some of those kind of, it's Venus in an air sign. So it's more intellectual or philosophical expressions of balance and harmony. And that's why we talk about like social order or justice, or even like contracts and fairness in agreements, and stuff like that. There's this notion that Saturn is also one of the rulers of Libra from a traditional standpoint. So order, control, fairness, that all kind of comes into the game here. So at this time inside of our new moon, Venus in Libra is asking us to find those mutually beneficial agreements, to find that win-win solution. It'll be really important to consider the other person, and like I said, be staying objective as we're working on balancing and reharmonizing some of these relationships, especially some of the karmic ones that have perhaps fallen out as a result of the eclipse season that we just had. You'll want to make sure that you maintain your boundaries and not get walked all over, but also kind of understand that you could find peace at this time by walking away. That's really something that is inside of the moon here. So Venus is known as the lesser benefic, so we always look to her for good things. We also have Jupiter, the greater benefic. And the cool thing about Jupiter at this time inside of this moon, so it's forming a square, it's over in Cancer. And Jupiter has great condition inside of Cancer as well. It's almost like we have 2 scoops of sugar inside of our coffee today with both Venus and Jupiter. Jupiter, again, being this kind of wisdom, this knowledge, this support to heal the pains of the past, to let go of the family and ancestral traumas that can come up inside of Cancer as well. It's really in a powerful position right now to allow us to see from a different perspective, to be hopeful or optimistic that you can find these solutions. And just a reminder again that while this happens both kind of on a personal level, again, being inside of these cardinal signs, this can really be about supporting the emerging new you. So, kind of you 2.0, who's been showing up this year as a result of all of the outer planets shifting. This can be about balancing and harmonizing that identity as well. And I say that too, because if we keep moving around our cardinal axis here, so from Libra to Cancer to Aries, we have actually a T-square here with Chiron. Chiron in Aries opposite the new moon in Libra. We talked about this a little bit last week or 2 weeks ago around the idea of healing identity. But now that Three-Eye Atlas is hanging out over here, and I wish I had a glyph for Three-Eye Atlas that I could kind of
Can you
plop
add it in? Is that a thing?
I'll have to look. I made my wheel pretty colors today, so I'll have to look at if I could get just like a user-defined point for it. I'm sure I can. But with Three-Eye Atlas in an opposition to Chiron too, what parts of our identity might we be healing as a collective? Perhaps our alien or starseed origins. Who are we as a race? Where did we come from? How were we created? I think some of that could be implicated here with Three-Eye Atlas. And when I look at the history of this even further, I get more goosebumps because it's Three-Eye Atlas. It's the 3rd interstellar object. So we've been having a few of these. This one's just getting like a lot of hubbub. But a reminder that we had Oumuamua and Borisov before that. Well, I looked at the dates as those were coming through our solar system. It was also during the period where Chiron was in Aries. In fact, when we had our first interstellar object, that was right when Chiron first stepped into Aries, almost 8 years ago. So we've been having these interstellar messages almost for this entire time that Chiron has been in Aries. So again, what part of like humanity's self-identity perhaps are we healing with all of this like intergalactic message that's coming through at this time? It's just something that I'm like really ruminating on. Again, Libras, or maybe those even just with cardinal things, Three-Eye Atlas is in or will be transiting through the sign of Libra basically now until December 1st. So feel free to share in the chat or with us personally about what's going on for you. Yeah. Other great things that we have going on. I've been talking about this for a moment here. Our water grand trine is finally coming into perfection here. So looking at all of our water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces at the very late degrees in the 3rd decan of all of those. We have Jupiter, Mercury, and Mars, as well as Saturn coming together. This is just a great time, again, to be trusting in your gut, going into your intuition, practicing, finding that information inside of yourself rather than going externally. It's a feminine side. These are all feminine sides. Water is about how we receive and how we receive guidance, information, healing. A lot can happen when you, again, back to Uber light, kind of turn into your inner light. That's a lot of what we're being asked to do right now with all of those planets making a beautiful grand trine in all of the water signs. I do want to caution a little bit, though, about Mars and Mercury as they're together here, moving through the final degrees of Scorpio. there is a strong need right now to be, I love this phrase of like responding versus reacting. You know, Scorpio is a sign that teaches us about withholding, about waiting, about being patient. And so I would caution folks to, you know, withhold the reaction, and rather respond with compassion and wisdom. That would be tying into some of the other water elements that we have going on here. I think a lot of fears can still be coming up. I think that this could be represented often by piercing words or fighting words or more arguments that continue to come up that reveal things that have been festering kind of below the surface for a while. You know, just a reminder that, your mouth being closed, but your mind and your heart, mostly your heart, being open might be a great way of finding that balance moving forward, and just kind of honoring Libra and Venus and the messages of this new moon. All right. Cool, cool, cool. So that's a lot for the new moon. I did say that I wanted to chat briefly about the moment when 3i Atlas is closest to the sun. So I'm just going to flip charts here real quickly. Like I said, this is inside of our lunar cycle. We'll have our full moon over here when the moon gets to Taurus. This is actually at the first quarter moon. So it's midway between the Libra new moon and our next full moon. October 29th is the date here. So the 29th to 30th, depending on where in the world that you are. And what I find to be really interesting about this chart, well, first off, I'm just going to point to the moon and Pluto together here in Aquarius. We've been looking at Pluto in Aquarius, now finally direct for a while, helping us step into and move into the 5D age, into the Aquarian age, into this new era, shall we say. I do want to make the reminder here that while everything can be very exciting and we could all awaken and, step into a new level of consciousness, I want to remind people that Pluto is the planet of control. The controllers use Pluto. They're aware of what goes on here and they manipulate our fears. Perhaps in the digital environment, there might be a lot of news and digital articles or things that are happening online that might create some heavy emotions at this time. It would be, again, very wise to be finding that source inside of you and connecting with that. I emphasize this even more because unlike our new moon, where Neptune is still in Aries, Neptune has actually stepped back into Pisces here, reminding us of our spiritual nature, reminding us that the answers are inside of us. And when these two planets come together inside of Pisces, as they had been for a while, we had talked about a theme a lot around the erosion of the old world, the letting go of past and old ways to move forward, to step into, whatever is next. What I find to be most interesting here, though, is this opposition between Mercury and Uranus. Mercury at 0 degrees of Sagittarius, Uranus at 0 degrees of Uranus at 0 degrees of Gemini. And, again, this is a big moment between the mental mind and what the heart and the body knows. This is a huge moment for a revelation and a changing in beliefs. I think there can be a wild amount of, mind-blowing information that comes out at this time. I think the news will be very, very busy making a lot about 3i Atlas close to the sun. So it's just all of a reminder to be going inside. Our beliefs are really challenged here with Mercury inside of Sagittarius. And of course, Gemini wants us to see something from the other side of the coin, wants to get a different perspective. Uranus has really been bringing in like kind of groundbreaking different perspectives. So I wanted to touch on this real briefly. Jake and I will be doing another show with Soul in a couple weeks here that chats a little bit more about Three Eye Atlas and the astrology. But since this moment was happening in between our new moon and our full moon, just kind of wanted to talk about how that moment is just around the corner for us.
Good stuff. There was a lot that I was thinking about, but it all tied together as you were finishing out what you were saying there, because, you know, I had a client this last week who one of the things that they were looking for understanding and insight into was some health things, and their higher self shared that that this was ancestral, and this was ancestral in the sense of like hereditary DNA stuff, like body physical stuff, but then also on an energetic and more spiritual level too, because similar problems that they were facing, expressions of this challenge had happened for their parents, for their grandparents. And so it was this sort of like helping to understand how the ancestral wounds, the hurts and the habits and the challenges that get passed down. You know, we think of money problems, we think of health problems a lot. It has a physical component and a energetic component. And when you were talking there about rebalancing of ET relationships, I was reminded that we have more and more evidence coming up on a scientific level of our extraterrestrial DNA origins. We have more and more evidence and like proof per se of our true origins and our true connections ancestrally to our star families. And so I think that both Three Eye Atlas and all of the astrology of this moment is calling for us to rebalance our relationship with our ET ancestors, with our star family, and not and through time, through an interdimensional, multidimensional perspective here, where we are remembering both their connections to us on that cellular level, but also, you know, remembering that they're not these godlike beings that are above us, that know everything, that have, you know, unlimited power and knowledge and wisdom. They might be at a different point in their evolution or their connection to source, but they are beings just like us, doing the best that they can, learning their lessons, having their experiences. And so it's not about deifying our star families or these ET beings. It's about understanding the ways that they are a part of our story. We are a part of theirs. We are all connected as a cosmic, you know, web of creation. And I think the energies of this moment are calling us to find more harmony with that, to find more balance there, and not to listen to the fear mongering or the pushing of agendas, because, well, of course, you want to have discernment with who you're connecting with. Don't just, you know, connect with anyone. Use your discernment, use your intuition, but you don't need to be fearful, because you are a powerful sovereign being and a co-creator of this reality, just as these beings are. They are not more powerful than you. So stand in your sovereignty, stand in your power.
And I'll give that heads up again around the potential for fear really being pushed as a narrative. You know, here I am on the Three Eye Atlas, closest pass to the sun, and we have Mercury opposite Uranus in Gemini. Just a reminder that the Uranus in Gemini transit historically has been associated with a lot of conflicts, especially locally in the United States here. We've been in armed conflict every single time. And when Mars enters Scorpio just a few days after Mercury here, so I don't know, maybe call it November 3rd, 4th, 5th, something like that, I think that'll be another moment too where a lot of folks could potentially be using the notion of fear to create division and conflict. You know, of course, there is the other side of that all, which Jake is asking us, and the astrology is asking us to step into. But yeah, there's some hot, spicy astrology right around Halloween this year. And so yeah, just a heads up for everyone to really stay grounded in their truth and authority. We could just spitball back and forth, but we should move into our activation.
We should. So before we move on here, let me navigate my way here. I wanted to remind you guys, and for those who didn't see at the beginning, Corbin is offering his astrological readings now. So you can book with Corbin. I will make sure the link is in the description down below. After the show, I didn't have time to add it in before, but Corbin is offering natal readings as well as astro forecast readings as well. So if you liked the vibe today, if you enjoyed the information that Corbin shared and the way he presented it, definitely encourage you. A one-on-one reading is certainly different than a collective reading and looking at more of the broad level stuff. So take advantage of this, really good prices. And I encourage you to book with Corbin for sure. And while we're on the topic of what's happening, I also wanted to remind you guys about my workshop coming up on the 25th. This is a past lives workshop, really helping you to understand how your past lives, those past experiences of your soul are affecting your current lifetime, helping you to gain insight, wisdom, clarity on what's going on in your life, whether that be relationships, career, maybe your psychic gifts or multidimensional abilities or awarenesses. There's a lot that can be brought up and integrated and worked with through past life work. So definitely encourage you to grab your ticket to that. That's happening on the 25th. So next Saturday, a week from today, 10 a.m. Central, 11 Eastern, and I am doing 10% off that as well as all of my past life experiences and services. So yeah, right, Carol, isn't the Sasquatch fun? I love our find. I mean, it was such a great deal, and as soon as we saw it, we were like, yeah, absolutely, we need this. All right, guys, so at this point, we are going to jump into the meditation activation. This meditation was really inspired by 3i Atlas and some of the experiences that I've had with other transmissions and other connections that I've made to this object. And I have heard from a variety of sources that this is a beautiful time to connect with the light codes coming in from this object, from our sun as well. The interactions have already begun. And so I wanted to craft a meditation giving you that opportunity to connect with these light codes in a more deliberate way and work on integrating the new information, the new codes that are coming through, because I think it's a pretty poignant time. And so with this, I encourage you to find a comfortable seat or a comfortable spot to lie, and just making yourself comfortable. Settle in to your position here. Just making yourself comfortable in whatever way you need. We'll be here for a few minutes. And of course, if you aren't able to stay for the meditation, no worries. I will be sharing this afterwards as well. So you can always come back and participate in this if you're doing stuff or you're driving or something like that. So just settling in, making yourself comfortable. And as you find your position, just allowing your body to begin to relax, just letting that tension go from your shoulders, and feeling your eyes closing gently. And as you begin to relax into this moment, starting to focus on your breath, feeling it deepen, noticing that in and that out. Just allowing your breath to slow and relax. Deepening with each in and out. Feeling that connection to the universe, connection to your breath. And as you feel yourself relaxing more and more, just noticing that relaxation moving like a wave down your body, from the tip of your head, the crown, washing down your forehead, softening, relaxing those muscles around your eyes, muscles in your cheeks and your jaw, and that relaxation flowing down into your neck, your shoulders, washing down, soothing and relaxing as it flows down and down. Feeling that relaxation as it flows into your chest and your back, flowing down your arms, down and out your fingers, flowing down your spine. That relaxation, softening and soothing all those muscles in your back, your abdomen, just feeling your belly letting go, softening into the moment. And that relaxation flowing down into your hips and your legs, down past your knees and your calves, down into your feet. And feeling any tension, any tightness flowing right out. Just letting it go. You don't need it. You don't need it. And feeling so relaxed, so peaceful in this moment. I'd like for you to imagine a beautiful, glowing, shimmering white light all around you. It may take a shape, or it may just be a bright glow all around your body, on all sides, even the underneath, surrounding you in this white light. This is your protection, the glowing bright light of Source, that beautiful white light of your higher self protecting you the entire time that we do this today. Now, you're feeling safe, feeling protected. I'd like for you to imagine you're on a beautiful sandy beach. It's a gorgeous day and the sun is shining bright up in the sky above you. You can feel the warmth on your face as you look across the sand, the waves. There's a soft ocean breeze on your cheeks. And you feel that soft sand beneath your feet as you begin walking along the shore. Taking calm, relaxed steps, maybe stepping into the surf and letting that water wash over your feet. Just noticing how relaxed and calm you feel here. As you hear the sounds of the birds, the sounds of the waves. And as you walk along the shoreline, you notice shells and seaweed here and there. You smell the salty air and the warm sand baking in the sun. And your gaze shifts up as you look up into the sky, seeing the blue, beautiful, vibrant blue of the sky, and you feel a call, feel a pull. As you gaze upwards, you can see a few bright, flashing lights up in the sky, sparkling and winking at you, and you know that this is your star family. They would like to assist you in accessing and integrating the light codes that are coming in from the sun, as well as from the object that we call 3i Atlas. Remembering only accepting light codes and keys that are for your best and highest good, knowing and feeling your sovereignty, feeling your own energy field strong and secure. And as you begin to connect with these energies, these cosmic energies, feeling your crown and third eye chakras activating as you gaze up into the sky, tuning into that frequency, feeling your energy, your light expand and rise up and up and up, connecting with that interstellar object now. And just noticing what you feel, just observing as these codes, as these keys begin to enter your light field. You may see colors or lights, maybe feeling a tingling or some other physical sensation. Maybe there are sounds or maybe symbols being presented to you. Trusting and receiving these light codes in whatever way is best for your best and highest good. No need to force anything, trusting that you know intuitively how to receive these codes, that you are receiving the codes that are meant for you. Knowing that you are a being of light, you are a multidimensional being, and these codes invite you to step into your next phase of expansion, into the next step of your evolution and of your remembering. These codes are coming in at this time to assist you and to assist all of humanity as we grow in love and in light, expanding beyond the boundaries of what we've known into the vast beyond. This cosmic visitor swinging in as a catalyst, an antenna, a beacon of light. You're now feeling the sun's presence, our loving soul. Feeling those solar codes as well, the energies and light that the sun is sharing, weaving together, interacting with, working with 3i Atlas. Allowing these codes to integrate and expand your field. Taking a moment to receive. Remembering, as always, you are a sovereign being. You are a co-creator of this reality, of this plane, and these energies invite you to step more into this role, to understand more what you are here to do. This is a call to remember the power of your thoughts, your words, your intentions, and your energy. Just receiving these codes and observing any messages or impressions that these celestial energies like to share at this time, that are activating at this time. Now, feeling that energy, feeling that light receding, pulling back, knowing that there will be more integration, but that you have received what you need for now. Remembering you can connect to these cosmic light codes on your own, that your higher self can assist you in this. Feeling the transmission of these codes slowing down now, and feeling once more your star family's presence all around you. Feeling their love, their support, knowing that they are cheering you on, supporting in the ways that they are able. And taking a moment now to communicate with them, receive any messages or support they'd like to share with you. Now bringing your attention back, down, down, down to the earth. Bringing your awareness back down to that sandy beach, back to the waters of the ocean once more. And feeling now your throat chakra engaging as these new codes, the light energy from these higher dimensions beginning to flow down through your energy field, integrating with your being. Feeling your heart chakra now expanding with love, with compassion, and with joy. Feeling that light swelling inside of you, filling you up, flowing down into your solar plexus, into your sacral, activating, energizing as you draw that energy down, anchoring and grounding it. And now feeling your root and your earth star chakras, grounding this energy, bringing it down, these light codes, feeling that connection and that support to Mother Earth that she helps you to integrate. She is helping to anchor these codes, helping to transmute and expand your light field as well. So feeling your energy field, your chakra system engaged, the energy, this light flowing easily and gently through you. Feeling your connection to the cosmos, to the collective light field, to the cosmic web of creation. Feeling as well your connection to Earth and to all of the beings sharing this plane with you. Feeling the love of your star family and of your guides, and feeling that loving, familiar presence of your higher self with you always, encouraging and supporting you as always. All right. Now feeling your energies calming and returning to their normal rhythm. Feeling the connections with these celestial objects, with your star family, and feeling the influx of light codes slowing down. Feeling your energy field returning to normal as you feel yourself returning to your physical body. You can still see and feel that bright glowing white light of source of your higher self all around you. feeling that safety, that protection, most importantly, that love. Now drifting gently back to the here and now, drifting and floating, feeling yourself returning to your body, back to full awareness as I count you up from 1 to 5. So getting ready now. 1, 2, starting to move your legs and arms around. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes. 3 and 4, feeling your breath return to normal. Coming back to full awareness. And 5, arriving gently back in the here and now, feeling wonderful with that feeling of love and that connection to the cosmic field still with you. Thank you guys so much for joining me for that.
Thank you, Jake.
Absolutely.
Very wonderful. How I refer to diamond light, like a white, silver, sparkly light. And there was lots of diamond light in that one for me. It's very, very light and lovely.
Wonderful. Let me know how that went for you guys, what came up for you, what experiences you had, how those light codes showed up for you. It's always fun to hear how different people experience these energies and how you receive them. So let us know in the chat, let us know in the comments what came up for you. And like Corbin said, let us know what's coming up for you with these new moon energies, especially as we get closer to that new moon. Of course, the astrology just keeps rolling, and it's never one singular moment. It's an ever unfolding journey, and so let us know what's coming up for you.
One back to the chart too, the square between Jupiter and the new moon, between Cancer and Libra here. Any of that balancing, that harmonizing that you do, there's the gift of growth and expansion on the other side of it. As you find those harmonies, it really opens you up to receive abundance, wisdom, healing, all that good stuff. So take the time to, maybe do Jake's meditation again, or to look at the healing and balancing that's needed in your own life. And relationships with others. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. All right, guys. So one last time before we go, just remind you guys about our workshop, my workshop coming up. I assume Corbin will be there as well.
Why did you want to be an alien for 5 years in a row at Halloween?
Right. Maybe it was a costume that you dressed up as over and over again. Maybe you were a knight, or maybe you were an alien, or I feel like I was like a zombie and or a vampire like multiple years. And so I'm kind of curious where that comes from, but...
Or why did you dress up like a Nazi soldier?
Well,
why did your mom let you dress up like a Nazi soldier?
Why did your mom let you dress up as a Nazi soldier? Good questions here. But if you guys are curious about past lives, this is a great low stakes way to explore and to test out the waters. You don't have to have any experience with regression, with hypnosis, with past lives. As long as you're open and curious, I welcome you to join us. I will be sharing some of my tips and tricks for the experience as well. So you really don't need any information going in. I will prepare you for the experience there. And
sorry, I was just thinking, like, if you were a cat 5 years in a row, maybe that's a sign of like Lyran starseed connections.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So workshop is coming up. Other than that, a reminder about Corbin's bookings. So you can book at piscesportals.setmore.com. I will be putting that in the description down below as well very shortly here after the show. So you guys can book your own readings with Corbin if you want to dive into your own astrology and what's going on for you. Definitely recommend that. as well as check out my website if you want to know more about my practice and what I do. If you go over to the bookings page, you will see that I have 10% off of my past life services for the month of October. And that does include the workshop here at the bottom. But if you're looking for that one-on-one experience, if you'd like to dive deeper for yourself, uncovering whatever it is your higher self is calling you to address at this time, if you're feeling that pull, I definitely encourage you reach out to me. I'd love to answer any questions you have and take advantage of that 10% off while we are in this month of October.
Mm-hmm. Let us know down in the chat. Did you enjoy our new little setup that we have going today?
Yeah.
We were inspired by our tech mishap that we had with Soul the other day and wanted to kind of create a cozy vibe for the morning show here. Let us know, of course, in the chat what your intentions are for this Libra new moon, how you're welcoming peace into your own life, how you're fighting for peace on a larger global scale. Oh my gosh, I didn't even talk about the Middle East peace deal. Isn't that an interesting thing that's coming up right now? Can we just give peace a chance? Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Wouldn't that be wonderful? Yeah, truly. So focusing our intentions on peace and harmony, as always. Enjoy the moon's energies, and look forward to seeing you guys soon. I will be doing a couple shows next week. I need to get those scheduled and posted. We've got a workshop prep happening on Monday, so we'll be talking about the workshop a little bit more in detail and what to expect, how to prepare for that, how to get ready.
And another full session, hypnosis session recording.
Yes, full session coming out as well. I think I'm doing a past life show, sharing stories too next week. So it's going to be a busy one again. Definitely bringing you guys as much as I can, sharing these stories, sharing these experiences. All right. Sending you guys love, and we'll see you guys soon. All right. Bye, y'all.